Ramble.
I just ate a bunch of fried food for a video, and like my throat is so gunked up and it feels awful.
Well, now you know what it's like after giving head for multiple minutes at a time. It's very gunked up.
Welcome to Guilty Pleasures, the podcast that loves what it loves. Each week we talk about one of our favorite guilty pleasure movies or TV shows. I'm not sure if you'll hear what was immediately before we started, but no, it was vile. This week we're talking about Bridget Jones' Diary. Whoa. I'm Zach Kornfeld. We're here with Kelsey Darragh and Garrick Bernard. But this week we're joined by one of our best buddies in the whole worldwide universe, Kate Peterman.
Co-Peterman in the house. Co-Peterman in the house.
We just need to get you in here as quickly as possible. No fucking around today. Kate's here.
Let's get into it.
We didn't get your what was your intro sound? The guilty whores are going to be really sad we didn't get like a Christmas sweater.
There was no iconic singular line. I mean, I guess it's like, I love this podcast just the way it is. I don't know. It didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That would have been
pretty solid.
That would have been it.
But I feel like that's where I'm going to end.
You got to do Easter eggs.
The gherkins.
Oh, okay.
Mini gherkins.
It's mostly floofs. Or what is it?
I feel like that's a slur.
Poofs. I can't get over Kelsey saying that sucking dick all afternoon makes her full of gunk. I can't hop out of that yet.
I'm just saying what it is. I'm just saying what it feels. Have you ever swallowed? It leaves a trail,
like a snail,
a coating, more than a snail. A snail is one trail. This is a circular.
Well, so how are you, Kate?
Yeah,
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to talk about Bridget Jones.
When this podcast was announced, Kate and I texted because I'm very aware of the fact that I basically stole your two best friends for this show.
I didn't put that together.
I was like, hey, congratulations. Ooh. Cool casting.
Little bitch. You fucking little bitch.
Oh, no. Kate, do you want to beat up Zach? I never put it together.
I was like,
fuck.
All right, Zach. All right.
Ouch.
All right.
So
I mean, to be fair, you picked the go-getters out of both of those scenarios. The the harder working people both got picked out of those scenarios. You picked the right people.
Not true.
That's actually not true.
I thought you were talking about a movie. I was like, what's the go-getters? It sounds like something I'd be interested in.
Yeah, exactly.
All three of us united by the fact that we all like Kate more than we like each other.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I think we'd all pick to hang out with Kate than any other person in a square.
That's nice.
And that should be a compliment.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I love compliments that put other people down. Yeah.
That is psychotic. That's a it's a symptom of psychosis.
It's the only way to lift me up.
You lift me up.
Almost.
Yeah, almost. You almost got there. Ooh, you're so close.
Well, Kate, what is the movie that you've brought to us today to discuss?
Bridget Jones' Diary, starring Renee Zellweger and Colin Firth and Hugh Grant. And it follows a woman who isn't having an easy time of things, is kind of like she's alone. I didn't realize what I saw this when I was like a kid. Like maybe I saw it in maybe I saw it when it came out in like 2001. I didn't realize that I would turn.
Yeah. So you've loved this movie for a long, long time.
I've loved this movie for a long time.
Oh no.
I didn't realize I was about to turn into her. And then it starts off the movie like my 32nd year of being single. And I was like, fuck.
Oh. To be fair, Kate, if it makes you feel better, my first note was, so me a few years ago.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it's just her trying to like, she's looking after all the wrong things. She's not really taking care of herself. She's smoking a ton and drinking a bunch and going after shitty guys. But her want is she wants to improve. But she's honestly, I feel like the character is a little bit naive. And yeah, it's just about her sweet little journey to finding love.
Slice of life, would you say?
It's very slice of life.
There's something to be said for those movies that you love as a kid and then find yourself becoming. And I don't know if it's a chicken or egg thing. I can definitely think of some myself. I assumed that you loved it as an adult, but I'm interested to hear that you've loved it as a child all the way through. What about it?
Well, I loved the snow.
This is a kid movie. This is a Christmas movie. We need to establish
snow in
that.
about 10 minutes of the movie.
It's so cozy. Like her apartment is so cozy. And the first time, this is what's crazy, is when the movie came out, it was like a big thing that Renee Zellweger gained weight for this role, which is insane. You guys have watched the movie. Yes.
Yeah.
And she's called fat, chubby multiple times. Isn't that insane? So as like a little kid, I was like, oh, thank God, someone who has like a normal looking body. But now when you see where we are in like 2021, we're like, wait, what? Like she says one of her resolutions is to lose 20 pounds. And it's like, where?
Yeah.
She says they say her weight several times into the movie. I guess we're just jumping ahead to Gilts. She's 131 pounds.
Yeah.
136 by the time she's in love, which
that is
show.
Nothing. She is the most perfectly normally sized human being that has ever existed.
I wrote down, I don't like how they're playing my girl Renee by casting her as like a bigger person. I was like, she's supposed to be schlubby, and that's fucked up. She looks great.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Like, first of all, for the audience, I am 137 pounds. So if Renee Zellweger is supposed to be the schlubby piece of shit, and you know what's funny is I watched this with other people who had seen the movie, and I was like, well, what's it about? I don't get it. Like, what the title doesn't say much. Like, what is the actual movie about? And they were like, that like this kind of piece of shit like girl next door gets a chance with the hot guys. And I was like, what? Like, why is this a movie we celebrate? Yeah. But then I saw it, and I gotta be honest, I see where it has very problematic problems, but you redo that, it's a nice slice of life, fun Christmas movie about every girl's fantasy, which is just having someone love them the way that they are.
Which is wild that it's even a fantasy.
Yeah.
Then we're like, we're going to make a blockbuster feature out of this. Wild idea.
It's worth hitting us with just a top level synopsis here. It's a modern take on Pride and Prejudice. You've got Bridget Jones, who's just a regular girl, but a clumsy girl, maybe not the most ladylike girl, trying to find her way in this world and being torn between her super hot boss, Hugh Grant, and this normal do-nothing, maybe I don't like him, played by Colin Firth, eventual hottie Colin Firth. And I will say, this is the most successful movie we've done so far. I don't mean I don't mean commercially. Yeah, critically. This is a BAFTA-winning, Oscar-nominated, very successful movie.
She was nominated for an Oscar.
First guilt, not fair that this is already just a good movie. Like you cannot approach us with a phenomenal film. That's not fair.
This is like, and I want to say that clearly. This is Renee Zellweger got nominated for an Oscar. It has a great pedigree.
Well, it came from a book.
And the book was a phenomenon before this movie came out. This was also my first time seeing it.
Oh, okay.
Mine too.
Yeah.
And Horace Slughorn is her father.
Howdy!
And Moaning Myrtle is also in this, who plays the first scene you see Moaning Myrtle in is
her
in
best
the
friend.
bathroom.
She's in the bathroom. And her mom is the nurse.
What?
Yeah, British people just be casting each other, dog. It's fucking crazy. They just cast each other.
14 British actors.
Yeah, and they just keep on going around. And then Daniel Kaluuya popped up, and they're like, we'll just put him all in everything.
My jaw is on the floor that you just dropped that third hot nurse comment.
How many times have you seen this movie, Kate?
Upwards of 100, probably.
Oh my God.
Wow. Why?
Do you have the whole thing memorized?
Why?
It's not memorized, but I know a lot of it. I am so comforted by it. It goes quickly. Like, the story goes quickly. It's... Does it? I was just really, it was so comforting. Her apartment is so cozy. The friends are fun. Everything's just like cute about it. And that's why I like, that would be my hangover movie back when I drank.
Yeah.
I would like.
The writing is very cheeky and like silly comedy, which was another one of my pleasures, is that it's written in such a British way that they can just do kind of weird, absurd shit that would be more like quirky in our films and would put it in a completely different genre. But like British comedy has such a way of being written that it toes the line of like fantasy while still being a grounded like slice of life movie.
It's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I want you to know that it is okay to ask for help. Mental health is hard for a lot of people. Even the people that you think have it all together. I have had times in my life where I've been down, where I've needed someone to talk to. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can connect in a safe and private online environment. It is so convenient that you can start communicating in under 48 hours. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses whenever you need. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions. They're committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. They have licensed professional counselors who specialize in depression, anger, stress, anxiety, LGBT matters, relationships, and so much more. Anything you share is confidential. It's convenient, professional, and affordable. So many people are using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. We want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/guiltypleasures. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. BetterHelp.com/guiltypleasures.
Yeah, they have a lot of background jokes. I didn't even think it was quirky at all. I thought it was just like straight up funny shit. Like I thought it was just
funny.
It's just funny.
It's funny.
It's a funny and well written movie. Like there were like so many beats where it's just like off to the side. Like you kind of see the British like inspiration behind like fucking Fleabag, where she had like background bits like galore. Like the whole shit with Aunt Shirley, I think is her name. Where she shows up at the hoe party dressed like a prostitute, and nobody's dressed up like a prostitute or whatever. And then her mom starts shitting on like somebody else, and you're like, oh, so you also didn't get the memo? And she's like, no, I got it.
Oh no, I did.
And she's like, oh God, I'm so sorry. And then there was they doubled down on that bit with the end with Aunt Shirley behind the bushes. I thought that shit was so fucking funny.
The movie obviously owes a lot of credit to the original novel, which was written by Helen Fielding. But Richard Curtis wrote this screenplay, and he's known for Love Actually, About Time, For Weddings and a Funeral.
Damn, About Time's a good movie. I will never watch it again, though. I cried. But that's not what we're here for. No, that's...
No.
That's A Wrinkle in Time. No, that's Oprah.
That's Oprah's.
Yeah, what?
The Stephen Hawking one is like something about
Across
everything.
the Universe.
Oh.
That's the Beatles.
About Time is the...
Everything across
it's with Rachel McAdams.
the world.
Is it Land Before Time? The one with the dinosaurs?
The Theory of Everything.
The theory
of Ethereum.
There it is.
Of everything.
The
Rick, you got on that Ethereum?
Yeah, I got it. I sold all my Doge and my house and got some
Ethereum.
Ethereum.
You sold your Doge?
Yeah, I sold my house too, Doug. I'm homeless now.
Oh, fuck. We got to talk later. All right, back to the movies.
Sorry, Kelsey, you were going to drop your pleasure. Did you get a chance to?
Oh, I was going to say that I like the two dudes who I never know the difference between them because
Hugh Grant,
to me...
Colin Firth. Colin Firth looks like a serial killer. Hugh Grant is attractive.
No, they're the same guy.
What?
Opposite.
Oh, so you're saying that they both look like serial killers?
No, Colin Firth is so fantastic. I just want to hold his face.
No, he's
Do you think that Colin Firth is hotter than Hugh Grant?
Oh God!
Why did you say that in a British accent?
Wow. Okay, so this is you
dropped.
watching the movie 100 times, showing it.
But I
unfair.
also, to be fair, I also made out with someone who looked like Hugh Grant. Kelsey, I talked about it back on our podcast. Remember on the Christmas hookup that I had?
Good for you.
I sure remember that.
Win.
Yeah, he looked a little bit like Hugh Grant, and so I feel like I get kind of skeezed out by Hugh Grant now because it didn't work out and he didn't fall in love with me. So I was like, "What?"
But they both play good guys. They both play love interests all the time. Mm-hmm. They both can play highfalutin royal Downton Abbey motherfuckers. And like that forever will be the character they can play. You can never throw Hugh Colin Firth Grant in a Departed
close,
or you can't throw him in a gangster fucking like action Avengers movie.
I'd like to see Colin try.
I want to see it.
I think he could.
I think Colin Firth can pull that off. He can pull off a villain.
I'm sorry. I hate to break it to all of you. 100%. It's never
Hugh Grant would do this.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant would be like, "Did you say fuck me? Did you say fuck me?"
Don't you tell me Hugh Grant doesn't have range, because he stars as a villain in the greatest rated film of all time, Paddington motherfucking 2, and he kills that.
Never saw it.
Bro, he's a villain in this movie.
He's a villain in this movie.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Say, on the record, for the record, I think that Hugh Grant's introduction in this movie is maybe one of the most pornographic non-porn moments ever put in the film. It is like he is so hot.
He's
in this movie.
breathtaking in this movie.
Yeah.
I could not believe, because like Hugh Grant, he's been gorgeous. He's been gorgeous for decades. It's just the elevator doors open and his eyes turn on the beat of the song. And then there's that other moment where he falls in the water and he's all wet and he's got the cigarette dangling out of his mouth.
Oh my God.
Hugh Grant is hot in this movie, guys. I cannot even. Oh.
Yeah, this movie definitely makes you want to smoke. Like, for sure.
Yeah.
I would have done it.
You know what's funny about that is, like, I said to the people I was watching this with, I was like, guilt. How many cigarettes people are smoking? And then they paused it and broke down to me how tobacco has been part of rituals and ritualistic, like, community and culture for hundreds of thousands of years. And I thought, I don't want to hang out with these people anymore.
Yeah. There you go.
They're annoying.
So Pleasure, Bridget Jones' Diary, will help you weed out friends. So there you go.
And like maybe start smoking cigarettes again. I don't know.
Start smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
I liked the spelling on the movie, like how they spelled Joneses. It's incorrect. And I fuck with that. It should be
incorrect.
Is that grammatically correct? Is it one apostrophe, not double S's? When you have two S's next to each other?
Honestly, I've never known my entire life.
Because it's Bridget Jones. Jones is her last name. It's not multiple Jones. So it's Bridget Jones apostrophe.
But Bridget Jones is. Okay,
I'm so glad you brought that up, Garrick. When we were in school, we were taught that if there's an S at the end, you can just put it at the end. But in practice, no one in the universe has ever fucking done that. I've never once seen.
But it's only if it's plural, like friends is. Like if you were to put like that, like those are my friends' papers, then it would just be the S apostrophe.
Got it.
Friends is. I got pleasure.
Tell me.
I got pleasure.
Tell us.
This movie has
okay,
its point of view.
I'm sorry, just really quick.
Okay. No, you got it.
Both are used. This is an area of controversy where there is no correct way where it's established. So
we're all losers in this.
We're all wrong.
Fucked up.
We're all right.
We're all right. I'm sorry. Why am I with negativity bias popping up? I'm sorry. We're all correct.
Zach, what's your pleasure?
Voiceovers are controversial in movies, and there's this some like made up screenwriting rule of like voiceovers are lazy, you shouldn't do them. But this movie nails the voiceover, and it is such a delight. And really, like, it's just point of view. This movie has a point of view from the way that you get to know her character through voiceovers, the way that it scribbles little words on the screen, her singing all by myself as the opening credits alone in her living room. Like, it nails it, and I was loving it. I really thought that was so wonderful.
And I don't understand that voiceover shit about it being like it's, you write a movie let people have an experience and like feel something when they watch the movie. If that helps someone's experience, go suck a dick if you're gonna be all weird about it.
Can I just say? This isn't a guilt. This isn't an en contraire. This isn't me going against what both of you have beautifully stated.
Yikes!
But I thought they missed an opportunity. I thought this whole voiceover thing, I thought this whole fucking point of this whole movie and diary thing was that she turns her diary into a book and then sells it at the end because she used to work for a publishing company. And this whole time I'm like, oh my God, they're setting it up so that she sells this book about her love life and she makes millions. And then it never happened.
I'm okay with that.
It's not a reaction I had, but I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I totally get that.
But the reason why I like fuck with the VO in this is because it becomes a device at the end, where it's just like usually when you do VO stuff, you kind of like a character has a diary that they're writing in, you kind of just write or whatever, and it doesn't belong in the physical film. It doesn't like exist in the physical film. And then it does in the end. And you're just like, oh, fuck, you could read all of the things, all the shit she's been saying about this dude. And you're like, oh, this is crazy. Yeah. And then there's like a double rug pull. And it's great.
That's a great point. Yeah, I can't think of many other movies where the voiceover actually becomes a plot device and almost Fiction. Splits characters apart. Well, there you go.
Stranger Than Fiction. Phenomenal movie.
But you've been
phenomenal.
You think about the opening of this movie, and like, I love her immediately when all of her actions on camera, like it allows her to be so much worse because we love her from the voiceover. And so then the actions that we see, she's a fucking mess. She's rude to Colin Firth, like she's bumbling, and it buys you that excuse to go so much further. You know what I mean? She gets to be funnier because we love her.
When is she rude to Colin Firth though?
With the I mean, he's ruder, but with
he's rude
she has like a little fantasy with him where she
she called
shit about him.
And I'm sorry, you are correct. She was not rude. She was just fumbling in their first interaction. He talked shit about her
in front of her to his mom, and like
Kate's
she
not
handled
gonna
that with grace.
Right.
Kate's gonna be like, we're gonna talk facts about this movie. We're not gonna slander it in any way.
She's not rude. She's trying her best, and her best just isn't that great. And I think one of my favorite things is that her like what you love about her is just her like she's just trying. She just keeps on trying no matter what. And I like that at no point in the movie did she have to like, I don't know, achieve one thing or, oh, sorry, I knocked my camera. Did she have to like, she just had to change her perspective. That was the only thing that she needed to do was change her perspective truly on herself and see like, hey, this actually isn't working for me. That's not good enough for me. Because to be fair, she comes in and Hugh Grant fully sexually harasses her at work.
Yeah. I know we all wrote it down.
Yeah,
we
just
all
like,
wrote it down.
Yeah.
She's
this
on the
movie
phone.
is an HR nightmare.
Yeah.
They talk about...
And they're emailing. That's the other thing. Emails
That's
are forever, guys.
There's a paper trail.
Yeah.
And she's like, I didn't even put it together, honest to God, until I just watched it again. The fact that all of her friends were like, yeah, you're probably going to get fired. You're going to get fired for doing a call at work and pretending that it was someone else talking about yada, yada, yada. They were like, you're going to get fired. And then instead of firing her, he fucking hits on her.
Yeah.
So he literally coerces her, but she's into it because she's attracted. Oh.
Yeah.
She's into it, and I'm not gonna lie, the movie kind of made me be into it because there is a thrill of workplace romance, and that is like I'd say the guiltiest thing of all is that I watch it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of hot, but
yeah, who hasn't fucked their coworker?
We've all done it.
I haven't.
Everyone say who you fucked at BuzzFeed on the count of 3. Ready?
1, 2. Myself.
I fucked Garrick.
No, but you're right. It does make you abandon a little bit of like political correctness in the workplace because you're like, this is what people want, right? Is the like untouchable one to be hitting on you.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote down some of the HR nightmares of this movie. In an elevator, Hugh Grant, her boss, puts his hand on her ass. That is before they've hooked up. They've just been flirting. And then at one of the parties, he says to her, I bet you did, you dirty little bitch.
Yeah.
That is how the boss speaks to Bridget. And she loves it. And you know what? We love it.
That's the only part, like, I remember watching that, because the first time I watched this movie was with my mom, and he's like, I bet you did, you dirty little bitch. And my mom laughed, and I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about that. That feels weird.
It feels off.
Right?
I
don't know if
crazy.
There's a guy listening to this podcast, and he's just like, well, which is it, guys? Come, I don't know. And that's what.
Well, I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
It's a nuanced, balanced situation that no one can explain. Okay.
Right.
Don't hug me. Okay? I don't want to be fucking hugged. But can I say a pleasure that like this part reminded me of is that Kate, like to your point where she really had to just change her perspective. One of the things I wrote down was like she remains sex positive the entire movie. Yeah. She remains playing hard to get the entire movie. Like all of a sudden you think like as soon as the boss is into you, you'd be like anything for the boss. But she was like and I really like that about
Hugh
her.
Grant wait 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah, and it wasn't like we didn't see this.
And he has to pull down the granny panties, the granny knickers.
Okay, we didn't. The word knickers makes me very uncomfortable. Like,
yeah, I know.
It's so close.
But do you hear how
it
rolled off my tongue? Because I have no issue saying it.
Yeah.
I'll never say it. Just
I've been planning that sentence in my head for 24 hours. Just that moment right there. No, but the point being is like she doesn't have to do that stereotypical montage of like, sure, she does the thing where she gets waxed or like she shaves her legs or whatever. Yeah. But she's not really changed. She doesn't look different. She doesn't really change.
It's so relatable.
Yeah.
Like every girl, every time you like, you're going to do that. You're going to get yourself. Yeah, there's no like, oh, she's better now. It's like she's been good the whole time. And what girl hasn't done something along those lines? Like,
she's very everyman.
Yeah.
Like the way that this whole thing is portrayed, if I saw this in 2001, I would have been like, oh wow, they're just like like it's just like as a piece of shit 2001 version of me, like I wouldn't have understood.
We keep calling her a piece of shit.
No. I'm saying
I don't think she is.
I'm not calling her a piece of shit. I'm saying me in 2001 as a piece of shit would have watched this movie.
I relate a little bit too much to allow you to call her a piece of shit. It's,
as a 10-year-old,
she's just not great.
If I saw this, I would have been like, oh, okay, so you need to, girls are just as nervous about a date as you.
Yeah. Piece of shit says us.
Piece of shit says us.
They're just as messy. Like we're all just like
just people.
Messy.
Yeah.
Just people.
And there's also something too nice that's like she wasn't necessarily attracted emotionally to Colin Hugh, whatever his name is. And then it comes around
Colin Firth.
Sure.
It's confusing because Colin
very different looking people.
They're the same guy to me. The same Christmas movie guy. Again, like he doesn't change. She just gets to know them better.
Yeah.
And like no, I'm not confused. I know exactly what I'm saying. It's like everybody was exactly who they were the whole time. Nobody had to change. Only things were revealed, and that
is a very good point. It's
and it's nice that you like kind of get past your initial judgments of these characters.
Yeah.
Because he kind of seems like someone who has like no fun and just has a big stick up his ass.
Yeah.
And she seems like someone who just can't get it together at all, but like who actually has it together anyway. She's just not.
Who doesn't have something in their ass, right, guys? You like it that way too? No? It's just kidding.
It's just, guys, you like it? You like it?
That way too?
HR.
Yeah. She taps on the mic. Is this thing on? No.
Oh my God, have you guys been listening the whole time?
Yeah.
And I like that we don't necessarily see Hugh Grant as like an obvious villain. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's this guy who like pulls her in. It's just like, it is what it is. It's very like true to life. And we just get to see her decide that she wants a little bit more for herself. And she's like, I put it together. You don't treat me well. And I don't think I have to stay for that. But you don't really, like, she doesn't that's not really, she doesn't have Twitter. Like, no one's talking about that. Like, she doesn't hear that. Her big thing is she needs to find somebody. You know what I mean? She needs to stop being alone. That's her whole thing. And then she gets to decide for herself, like, no, I actually don't want to be with you. Right. And it goes from how to make men want you, or like what men want or whatever, like men, you know, whatever, to how to love yourself. Yeah. She literally takes those books away and puts self-love books on the shelf.
Very nice transition.
Beautiful.
And it's a really lovely and smart choice. They have a scene before the climax where Colin Firth and Renee Zellweger get to kind of live out this domestic fantasy together. He comes over, they cook dinner. It's a disaster, but it's cute. And what I love about that moment is really one of my biggest critiques of rom-coms always is like Colin Firth leaves his fiance to get with Renee at the end, which is kind of a crazy fucking thing to do because love is more than just lust. But at least this movie gives a hint of like, no, but they can be. Yeah, they are nice. There's more than just them wanting to fuck each other, right? Yeah. And so it's the best that a rom-com I think can get to achieving that.
Right.
And who doesn't a little bit when you first like meet someone that you eventually find yourself like really into, there's something that makes you want to go like, fuck that person for just like a quick second, right? Where you're kind of like, oh, yeah, fine, I guess I love you. You know what I mean? And that's how
I've hated everyone I've ever loved.
Yeah.
I know. I was like trying to think of like, have I don't know that I've experienced that.
Yeah. In fact, actually, I don't know if you guys know this, Maggie, we're now engaged, but we met at a knife fight.
Met at a knife fight. Oh.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of trying to kill each other. That's why I brought it up.
Right there, a little scar, and then I had her finish it off.
So close to where you got your appendix out.
On your When you proposed, did you pull the ring out of that gash she left in your side?
From the open wound that's been open this entire time.
Sanitary.
Like this festering wound, my heart and love.
Sick.
Oh, I didn't know you were a poet.
Me either.
Before we switch,
those are straight freestyle bars, baby.
Oh no, make it stop.
Wait.
Before we switch over,
I have another pleasure.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first. Ready?
No, you already started talking. Please go. I interrupted you.
All right. No, you didn't. How dare you? The pleasure I was going to say.
Oh, wait, one more thing.
And then I'll leave it. I know Kate so well, I fucking saw it coming. I saw it in her brain think of it, and then I saw her waiting to be like, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Annoying.
She was like, was that a rule of 3 left on the table? No.
Yeah.
Here I come.
No. Speaking of rules of 3s, there are quite a few twists in this movie. And that was a pleasure of mine, that there were a couple of moments that, even though I did see the big one coming, I didn't see the others. I didn't see the other 2 coming. And I don't know if we should spoil them.
What's the big and what are the other 2? Just spoil. What
it's been 20 years.
Okay. Spoiler cast.
Okay, fair. Okay, so the big one is that Hugh Grant, I think is the one that I got right, lies and says that he does not be friends with Colin Firth anymore because Colin Firth fucked his fiance and ran away with her. And that's why Renee Zellweger doesn't really like him. But then she finds out that, the story was actually reversed and that trash ass Hugh Grant was actually the one that stole Colin Firth. And then you're like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. That's why she's hating him this whole time. So that's a big one. And then...
And just to... Colin Firth goes, no, it was... my wife, actually. My heart. My heart.
Yeah. Then that made me go like, are you still in love with that bitch? But she's gone. The second rug pull was when when you find out that Colin Firth is engaged and moving to New York City with his partner from the law firm.
That's pretty sick.
That was, that got
a good one.
That did get me. And then the third was when she leaves her diary out by accident and Colin Firth comes and reads it, and you think that he's going to leave her because he read her diary about all the awful things she said about her.
Yeah. Because that's like the end of the fucking movie. Yeah. They're like about to kiss. It's like, it's over. And I'm like, there was a moment I'm like, what if she ends up alone?
In that exact moment, I looked to my friend and I said, I'm over it. Yeah. I'm over it. I'm done with this movie. That's why when you're like the pacing or whatever, like it was a good story. I was like, wow, really? I was done. When it was over, I was like, are they together? They're good? Okay, we're good. We're moving on.
Yeah.
Credits.
It's a roller coaster, baby. And did you see the cheating coming? Because he was cheating on her. Like, but technically he was cheating on the girl that he was with in New York.
Right.
Fiance.
She was the other woman.
Another fiance. Everyone's just fiancéed up. I've never asked somebody to marry me like that.
I liked that the two of them weren't like playing on this is the nice guy for you. Look at how much he pays attention to you versus my guy Colin Firth versus Hugh Grant. Although he was like the cooler one, Hugh Grant was quote unquote the cooler one. I don't think Colin Firth was like the nice guy. He was just like brooding and blunt.
Yeah.
And then also and quiet. He was just like a quiet like weirdo that she grew up with.
There, Kate's looking for a quiet guy.
I like talking.
But I also like that the two of them...
Are you hot and want to shut the fuck up? Kate Peterman is available.
Anyone out there tall and just you already said it. You already said the joke.
Tall and get on, come on by.
Come on down to Kate.
Come on down to Kate's Depot. Come on down. Kate's Sugar Shack.
It's a real struggle in relationships. Sometimes I'll be talking and Maggie's like, you talk a lot.
You talk a lot?
Yeah, sometimes Maggie will just tell me, she's like, you talk a lot. I'm not going to listen to everything you're saying.
I'm
like, that's not okay for me. I need every word to be listened to.
That probably stems from like some deep trauma, but we can move on. You know?
The other part of that that pleasure, I'm sorry, is that the main conflict between the two of them wasn't really over Renee Zellweger. It was over like something that happened between them. He was like, when he said, you got to come outside, dog. I need those hands. It was from. That was one of the coolest points.
Your pants weren't soaked at that point.
It's what every girl's ever wanted.
He goes to leave and then he comes back. He's like, all right, you know what? Actually, like, what a fucking
outside.
nerd.
He walked down.
Come up and be like, outside.
Walk downstairs.
I guess I'm going to have to fight.
Yeah.
And they just fight like two guys who have never fought before in their life.
And they're kicking.
Over.
And then they stop to sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
One of the best
fucking hilarious.
You think the cake is going down. You're like, look at that big toppled cake that's going down. And it's red herring.
Yeah,
like
red
that.
herring.
Instead,
they get
thrown through glass.
window.
Yeah, it's super funny.
It's awesome.
Oh my God. It's so good.
Yeah.
And during It's Raining Men.
Okay, but maybe this is a good way to switch over to guilt, because during that scene, which is very funny and arguably the best scene of the movie, there is a practical subway effect that is happening that is so bad and distracting. And
I thought it was a thunderstorm.
I thought it was a thunderstorm, and it was playing It's Raining Men, so I was like, oh, it's a musical now? Like, I wish
it was a thunderstorm. Yeah.
I wish it was a musical.
It was a train.
Yeah, so, it was bad and cheap and very bad.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's a couple lighting moments in this movie there, like, you don't want to notice lighting, right? And that's one where even in her apartment, it's flashing this electric blue. And
that's
my biggest guilt is a guilt about this movie, but really it's a guilt about the industry. Okay,
so
this movie
this is the shit this is the shit that I wouldn't even notice.
There are a couple head scratcher moments of cinema, right? You've got that flashing light. There's when Bridget discovers that Hugh Grant is cheating on her. It cuts to this choppy slow-mo as the door opens up, which is very clear. Like, oh, they got to the edit and we're like, I need more of this moment.
Oh God,
you saw another one,
bad.
Kelsey?
The second shot of the entire movie is a Dutch angle in her mother's house that is so jarring and sets the tone so deeply on like how fucked up her mom is that you're just like, it like made me sick. So that was just like a cinematographer's
and the gherkins,
nightmare.
The pickles on the plate and her mom's blatantly racist comments about
Asian
all
people,
of Japanese people, or she's just like, oh God.
I miss that.
Yeah, I miss that.
But I'm also going to defend everything that we just said, because so this movie was directed by Sharon McGuire.
Except the racist.
Except for the Asian thing.
Don't defend that.
I won't defend that one. So this movie was directed by Sharon McGuire. And actually, a little fun fact, this trilogy is the first, I think it's like the first trilogy to be directed all by women. And she, after this movie, which was a bona fide fucking hit, did not get to direct another movie for 7 years.
Oh my God.
It's a movie called Incendiary. You haven't heard about it. Then she directed another Bridget Jones, and then like other movies you haven't heard of. I think that she was a raw prospect coming into this movie as a director, because women just don't get as much opportunity as men in this industry to direct, whether it's this industry or in the British film industry, and she fucking killed that shit. This movie is fantastic. Again, Oscar nominated, BAFTA nominated, Golden Globe nominated. Like, I really think she killed it. And there are just these few moments where you go like, oh, you're still figuring it out. You're still figuring yourself as a director, and you still made a movie that is this fucking good. And how dare they take a hit like this and not give her another movie fucking immediately? I was livid.
Yeah.
I was livid looking this shit
That
up.
was the whole thing.
Mouse.
Say no more.
Mouse, could you put like some organ effects behind that? Like dun dun dun. No.
And then just end the podcast.
Yep.
I'm looking at her IMDb now, and I'm like, where the fuck has Sharon Maguire been? Because she dropped a cultural landstone, and the industry was like, all right, cool, thanks.
Sick.
Can we get somebody else to direct every other movie?
Yeah, where's Dylan? That kid?
That's the thing. That stuff really, like, it was ahead of its time in a lot of ways, this movie. It really was.
And very behind on some things.
And now very outdated.
I think it was ahead of the time and of its time. I don't think it was behind the time.
There you go.
2001 was pretty shitty.
Speaking of ahead of its time, though, it created a trope. This is the movie where a woman comes to what she thinks is a costume party dressed as a Playboy bunny, and then turns out, like, that's in Legally Blonde, it's in Mean Girls. They created this, like, you created a trope.
Yep.
That is fucking crazy.
Bada bing, and you heard it here first, folks. Bada boom.
And it's exclusive content only here on Ramble Audio at guiltypleasures.com.
Yeah.
Is it worth talking through some of the
website.
things that have dated it, perhaps? I don't know.
Sure. I mean, the racism, sexual harassment, the fact that they say that she is chubby, which is insane. And
There's
they use
only
it as
white people
insult.
in this movie. I don't think
Only
I
white
spotted
people.
one person of color. I think something we all agreed was like there wasn't a ton of guilt about this, minus the few things that like, and wasn't it Rick or Zach that put in the... Yeah. Do you want to say what you were going to say?
Wait, no. What? Put in.
Am I going to finish your sentence? No, we're not that good of friends. You saw on Twitter.
News
you
to
were
Garrick.
Like,
I thought we were great friends.
listen, everything's fine here. Where you put, someone had written on Twitter that like, it's a good encapsulation of media where it's like anything you love that is pre-today is going to be flawed.
Yeah.
Like nothing is perfect. And even today's films being made, like, you know, this is a bad example because Garrick's going to laugh at me and Kate's probably going to like hold me dear and Zach's probably just going to be totally neutral upon this. But Dear Evan Hansen, for example, is about to be released in theaters this
I have the
Christmas.
hottest takes on that movie. You have no fucking idea.
God, tell me
Other
we're
than
gonna
the
do
fact
an
that he
episode
looks
about
like
it.
he's
Fucking idea.
39 as playing a fucking high schooler.
Not my problem with it. I saw that musical.
Relax.
It's beautiful song.
Yes.
We'll talk.
Okay.
We'll talk.
Agreed. It has amazing message. But then like I go on Twitter
Disagree.
today and it's like everything about it is ableist. Everything about it is like gay baiting. And I was like, oh fuck! Even something with like an Impact Tony Award winning like in a queer space written by a director, like everything's a problem. And like there is nothing unproblematic. I don't think except for Paddington.
Paddington is
that is the.
I just think that we're constantly evolving, and it's good to be like, oh, here's where we may have fallen short, and like, improve or whatever. But I will say that this movie, particularly with Bridget Jones, is, and obviously this is only like, I don't know, maybe you guys could think of a similar movie that stars a man, but I do think in general, any movie that is about a woman or it's like considered like a chick flick or something is very quickly discarded as like silly or just like not a lot of substance. But I think that this movie particularly had like so much substance and so much relatability. She really was the every person of this and all of like the things that she dealt with and whatnot. And knowing her worth and trying to just like exist and just have someone love her for the way she is. Like that, if it was reversed, I don't think it would be necessarily criticized quite as much. And one thing that bothered me so much was that Jim Halpert in The Office, he and Karen Filippelli give each other Bridget Jones's Diary for Christmas, the Benihana Christmas, and they say, what a terrible movie. And I'm like, Jim, get the fuck over yourself for 1 second.
They say, what? Is this like...
That's
I know
weird.
that this is a cult classic now, or it's... But like, people... It was a huge hit. What are they fucking talking about? It's a terrible movie.
I don't know. But it's Mindy... In the Mindy Project, she has her boyfriend in the Mindy Project, Danny, read Bridget Jones's Diary, the book, to her when she's in the hospital.
Is Mindy Kaling's baby daddy that guy from The Office?
I don't know.
BJ
Novak.
Beefcake? Did you say?
I was gonna say
Beefcake Novak.
Brooklyn Novak. Yes, absolutely.
Wait, well, I was so delighted to learn that it was critically acclaimed at the time, because like it is very rare for a rom-com or a comedy of any sort to be critically regarded. So I was delighted, but that makes me hurt to know that Time has forgotten, because I saw this for the first time today in 2021, and I thought it was wonderful.
It's a delight.
The last guilt that I think you could put on this movie, which I think is a total delight, is that this movie is horny as fuck, which I think is a delight. It shows that women are horny too. Love that shit. But like, it's suburban mom porn, right? It is. Yeah. You get like, I know Margot Kornfeld was loving this shit when it came out.
Margot!
And you get to like, you know, it's get your life together fantasy.
Sure. Let's unpack that.
I'm on board with it.
Yeah, that's
everyone
like,
deserves that fantasy.
But also, like, no one spoke for those people, really. They were just like like, she would be like the funny best friend who's just unlucky in love to like someone else, you know, getting the dream job and wearing like power suits or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, she speaks to people who were kind of like overlooked or forgotten, which is a great thing. And I feel like that's everyone's the forgotten people's porn.
Forgotten people's porn is a category I would really like to go down into.
I'm calling Erica Lust.
I'm very glad that you said that, Kate. I agree entirely. I think you're right on.
Let them fucking go.
Let them fucking go.
Let's go.
One of my favorite shots in the movie is her mom has an egg separator, and it's basically just her jerking off, and then the thing and it like out.
I don't know where that little squirt came from.
That's exactly what I was talking about in the beginning when I said British people can get away with like quirky shit that like in American movies people would have been like, what the fuck was that? Like we didn't even bat an eye. We were just like, that was funny and weird.
Fun fact time.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Renee, as we've talked about, she gained 25 pounds for this role. She worked at a British publishing company for a month in prep, and she adopted an alias where she spoke British and like just pretended she was British. But at the time, she was dating Jim Carrey, which that's the only reason I'm sharing this fact, because it blew my mind. And she had a little photo of Jim Carrey on her desk, and people were like, that's fucking weird.
Wait, hold on. So many fun facts just got dropped.
Love this.
She's not British?
No, she's not British.
She's Australian.
She's Australian?
I think she's Australian.
She has like...
I think she's American.
She's American. She has an American accent anyway. I remember everybody was bashing her for having a weird accent. Because of all the different accents she was doing.
Okay.
Well, number 2 on that is that the casting of Renee Zellweger...
That bitch is American.
Yeah. It's crazy, right?
She's from Texas.
Yeah.
She's not a piece of shit, but she is a bitch.
She fooled me. She's her. I mean,
liar.
Just a late night pleasure. Her accent is phenomenal.
So people were infuriated with her casting originally because this book was a huge hit. It was a controversial casting choice, probably because she is 110 pounds in real life. But people wanted it to be played by a British actress. They thought that was fucked up. But then her performance obviously won the world over.
I wonder where those people are every time a British actress gets a really important American role.
They're probably dead. This was made like
20 years ago, Kelsey.
Oh.
I know you guys are going to scream several times during this, but there is an overwhelming wall of names of actresses who were considered for this role.
Yeah.
And I'm literally going through and I'm deleting names because like there are so many, and I apologize. I don't know some of these names. So if you want to see all of them, go on IMDb. All right. Are you ready?
Fire. Go.
Patricia Arquette, Juliette Binoche, Selma Blair, Kate Blanchett, Helena Bonham Carter, Toni Collette, Cameron Diaz, Elizabeth Hurley, Nicole Kidman, Lucy Lawless, fucking Xena herself, Emily Mortimer, Tilda Swinton, Emma Thompson. I'm not
She'd have
done.
killed it.
Emily Watson,
Emma
Naomi
Stone,
Watts, Rachel Weisz, Kate Winslet, and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet and Emma Thompson would have knocked that out of the park.
Yeah.
My thoughts exactly.
I think Nicole Kidman would have been great.
I think Helena might have done a good job.
That's what I was going to say. That was the only one I saved my gas for. I was like, I'm only going to save my reaction for one. And it was Helena Bonham Carter. I think could have been very, very interesting at this. But then it would have been another Harry Potter character.
She's just so...
There's so many. There's so
insane.
Many. It is.
The last quick hit fun fact I'll give you just to get this image in your mind. Famed author Salman Rushdie has a little fun cameo in this film. And apparently in a deleted scene, he and Hugh Grant briefly locked lips, which was frivolously initiated by Grant, but the scene never made it to the final cut. Hugh Grant made out with Salman Rushdie, and the world never got to see it.
That would have been a different plot line for that character.
I don't know how it fits in.
I kind of feel like Hugh Grant might be a little bit of a freak.
Oh, he'd buy. He'd definitely buy.
I'm into it.
Hugh Grant buy. I'm typing it into Google immediately.
Just because you wish something to be true doesn't, I mean, I'm sure you can find a link to support that.
Hugh Grant explores his dark side in a very English scandal.
It's an interesting way to say bisexual.
Well, that's the name of a show.
Oh, that's my dark side.
A gay man. That's just because he played a gay man doesn't mean that he's bi.
Have you guys seen Hugh Grant lately?
Yeah, he's still gorgeous.
I'm about to drop a photo to our group chat.
It's like a silver fox.
We can talk about it later.
So now is the time, Kate, where we have to decide, is this movie a pleasure or guilty pleasure or just plain guilty? This is your final chance to tell people what this movie means to you and why they should watch it. But I'm really more interested in what it means to you.
Okay. What does it mean to me? I like it for all the reasons I said, mainly that it's about a perspective change and not necessarily like she feels better when she gets a new job. It's like she decides that she deserves better, so she gets a new job. She changes the stuff that she wants to change in her life, and I think that's great. I think that take it with a grain of salt, some of the stuff that they say, and definitely, it could be like a little bit triggersome when it comes to like body image, with them saying like, I thought you said she was thin, and like her being like needing to lose weight and stuff. That's tough. But if you could put that stuff aside, it's a great movie, a delight to watch when you're feeling a little under the weather or you want to just feel like kind of cozy. It's and it's just good. Just watch it or don't. I mean, you don't fucking have to.
Oh my God. All right, Kate. We're good.
Came in a little out of left field.
A little fun fact about Kate is that any movie that even tangentially is related to Christmas, she's like, I love it. It's my favorite thing. I love it. There's snow. It's the best.
Except for the fucking holiday. I hate that movie.
I was going to say this movie reminded me of The Holiday, but I guess I won't say that.
I have a hard time with Cameron Diaz. I don't not like her. I just don't like love her as an actress. As a person, I'm sure she's pretty cool, but...
Mary's
and I didn't mean The Holiday. I actually like the holiday. It's the fucking family bitch ass stone.
Oh, the family stone.
Trash.
Yeah.
They switch siblings to like have sex with. It's so weird. And then someone dies.
Okay, we're gonna have to put that aside for now.
Do you consider this a pleasure or a guilty pleasure, Kate?
I consider this a pleasure with some roughage.
Okay.
I will say that as someone who had never seen the movie, has heard the name of the movie umpteenth times, I'm gonna go with pleasure. I think it's just a good.
It's just a good movie.
A good Christmas movie. If you watch it in June, you're fucking weird. This is purely a Christmas movie.
It did not occur to me
we didn't need to,
for a second that it's a Christmas movie.
It snows when
I think it's
outside.
a Christmas time movie. It's like what you listen to. It's like a pregame, like
you can only watch this movie from Thanksgiving Day to New Year's Day. Period. It's a pleasure.
Or if you need a little bit of a visual hug.
Sure. Garrick, what do you say?
All right. So I think it is an unfair pleasure because this is, if you think about it, this is one of the few rom-coms that have ever been nominated for an Oscar or a BAFTA. So it's just like, this is just a good and well done film that's elevated. BAFTA.
It's like it's this and Annie Hall. And we're not allowed to talk about Annie Hall anymore, so it's this.
Yeah,
it's
that
this and Annie Hall, and we don't talk about Annie Hall anymore.
Yeah, so it's this one. It's just
it's this one.
It's it really elevated that genre of filmmaking. I think that we should bring it back. I miss rom-coms so much. Can you please?
What a delight!
Yeah.
Like why give so much freaking credit to movies that make you feel bad? No Country for Old Men.
Okay, but
how dare you?
All right, well that movie was phenomenal. Let's not go there.
The King's Speech.
Right.
You're not gonna pick
it's an amazing movie.
Colin Firth.
Colin Firth. Yeah.
The King's Speech.
Okay, they're all the same.
He was great in that.
Zach, what's your verdict, baby? Ring us home.
I think this is an absolute pleasure for a movie to be a comedy, 20 years old, and it lived up to all of the hype I've heard about it all my life. I really thought it was wonderful. Such a delight.
Wow.
And it has one of the best ending movie lines that I have ever heard, which she goes, they kiss, and she goes, hold on, nice boys don't kiss like that. And Colin Firth says, Kate?
Oh, yes, we fucking do.
So baller. I love it.
Damn. It begs the question, Colin, what does that dick do? Right, guys?
This has been Guilty Pleasures, the podcast where we talk about cum and dat dick from Colin Firth. I would like a shirt that says, what dat dick do, Colin Firth?
Make it. Someone make it. Send it to Kelsey, and if you have time, send one to me.
Yeah, it begs the question. Killed me. It begs the question, what does that dick do?
Zach, where can the people find you?
Who cares about me? Kate, if people want to keep up with you, Kate, where can they find you? What you got going on?
You can find me on Instagram. I'll announce some stuff there. I don't know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say right now, so just follow me on Instagram. I know I'm so dangerous and mysterious and just cool.
Doing stuff.
Cool.
I'm Ed Corndiddy on the things. Guys, please rate this show and tell your friends about it. But I know, here's the thing. I know we say every week, rate the show. It really does help people find it. And I know you motherfuckers have not rated it yet. Because I looked how many. There's more of you listening than have rated. So,
no.
Pause it right now.
Wow.
Leave a quick little review.
Also, Zach, you have to...
It does actually help.
Re-say your Zach on all the things so we can do our sing-song thing.
I'm Ed Corndiddy on all the things.
I'm Kelsey Darragh on all the things.
And I'm Garrick Bernard on all the things. There you go.
Yes, you are! Yeah, you are!
I did it.
Okay.
Kate, such a pleasure. And really, I guess we all just want to tell you that we like you just the way you are.
Guilty whores.
I feel amazing. Thanks, guys.
An internet lag, and you just stared at me for 10 seconds, and I'm like, whoa, that did not hit.
That didn't land at all.
No, that was the perfect ending.